Hello and welcome back to the Amazon University Esports Women's League of Legends Championships, brought to you by Unite Student, Twitch Student, and Logitech G. I'm Viper, joined by Carmeline, and you're doing that's the wrong sponsor read. We're doing Unite Students this time. It's not Logitech G. You
Oh,
can't.
sorry.
Oh wait, no, because you.
Well,
Okay, yeah, no. Do you know what? I see what you did there. Because
I mean,
when I said Logitech G, you were like this, like the headphones. Not these
yeah, of
headphones. These
course.
aren't. But Unite Students. Got to give them a shout out. If you are looking for accommodation for your 2021-2022 student experience, and you're looking for somewhere nice to stay, Unite Students could be the one for you. They're open to booking now in 25 different cities across the UK, so chances are if you're going to one of the major city universities, then you will be able to find accommodation with them. It's really, really good. I've been in a few. I've been to accommodations in London and Birmingham and stayed in them for a few nights as well,
Oh,
and they were
really?
absolutely amazing. Yeah, they were really, really good. Nice communal
Oh,
areas, lots of amenities if you're into that.
I
Get them
wish I
onto
could
it.
go back to university just to stay there, you know?
You're
Like,
just
I
you're going
bought
to go back to uni
just,
just to stay at a Unite Students.
I was a kind of student that will stay in her dorm room most of the time. So having such a nice place to hang out at, I think, I know, I wish I had stayed there during my Erasmuses.
I mean, yeah, it would have been good. And if you're a party animal like me, communal areas, utilities, gyms on site and stuff like that, laundry, of course, you can do that as well. Absolutely amazing. So
Yeah.
make sure to check them out. And you can book now, and there's no cancellation fee. It's absolutely free to cancel if you discover that you're not actually going to be staying there. So if you decide to stay at home while you're studying or something like that, then you won't be penalised for doing so. So make sure to check them out. And of course, massive thank you to Unite Students and all of our amazing partners for helping us make all of this magic happen. But speaking of magic, we're moving into our final match of the evening. Derby's Pyjama Guardians, last season's grand champions. We saw them in week
Yay.
one, doing exceptionally well once again. We haven't watched them yet, though, Carmeline. We haven't got to cast over them. Team we have got to see is I'm Confused, which, yeah, they lost out last time against Hecker and PTSD, but there was a very nice Dragon Steel involved, so plenty to like from both of these teams.
Yeah, also, I'm confused, haven't been consistently apart from that one game versus Hacker and PTSD, so I'm so excited to see them. I think it's a similar situation as last game. Like, what I want to see last time around was like, I want to see gangsters facing a higher tier team. This time around, I want to see, I'm confused how they fare against Derby. As you said, our previous champions and underdogs back in the day. So who knows if the kingdom can be taken away from some new underdogs. We'll see that. I
Yeah,
want to see it.
I don't know about betting against Derby's Pyjama Guardians. It's always a brave
Oh
bet to do
no.
so around these parts, but I'm Confused, one of the more impressive teams. They did exceptionally well in week one. Week two, against Hecker and PTSD, they gave them a really good run for their money, but Hecker and PTSD did win. But we know how good that team is now. We've seen how well they can play, and if I'm Confused can play just as well as we saw them playing last week, and maybe even a little bit better against Derby's team, then you know what? There could be an upset on the cards, and it wouldn't be a massive upset for me to see I'm Confused win this game. But Derby's team consistency, they've got very, very similar looking team from the championship winning team last split, and there's reasons why they've kept together. They're from the same university, they've got good players across every position, and hey, if you've got a winning formula, there's no need to change anything.
Yeah, and not only good players in every position, but also players that are like, okay, so you might be main top, but you're also playing consistently jungle as your second role, so they really understand the rest of lanes. They know what it takes, they know what it's needed, what you need in all the positions. So I think that really helps you get more perspective, especially when it comes to macro gaming, how to help out your other laners. So that is going to be really helpful going to that, and that's why Davi is still like one of my favorite teams here in the league, because I feel like they really bring that knowledge on one hand. They like, I mean, that I like that they are like versatile and they can bring so many things into Rift that all teams cannot do so frequently. On the other hand, I'm not dishing. I'm confused. I really liked how they played last week, and I'm willing to see the same or even better plays this one.
Same, except asterisk, don't pick Urgot jungle.
Oh my god.
Don't do it. Just don't do it. I'll be furious if it happens again. But the thing is, I'm Confused. They're a very, very strong team. They have good players across the board. They know how to play their roles, and individually, they might be one of the few teams that can match up to Derby's Pajama Guardians in terms of microplay. So, yes, we talk about players like Catgirl Trez being exceptionally good in the jungle. There could be a match in this game with I'm Confused if they pick a real champion in that role. And I think that, again, this is definitely a game of the differences between the players will be pretty small. So those differences will be accentuated if, say, the mid lane gap is huge or jungle gap is huge, right? And another thing that I'm going to be very, very fascinated about, and something that we talked about quite a lot throughout this broadcast today, draft diff has been a thing today. Teams have set themselves up for success, and teams have set themselves up for failure. And in both games we've seen today, the team that has had the better draft has won the game. And differences in the draft have been reasons for that. In game number 1, the Garen question mark was exploited. In game number 2, the lack of identity was exploited. So I want to see both of these teams setting themselves up for success by not necessarily trying to surprise the opponent, right? Last game, there weren't surprises coming through from Hecarim PTSD's draft. We saw very standard champions. But doing that can often be enough to say, like, we're going into this game even, or we're going into this game really far ahead because the other team has tried to do something a little bit different. And for Derby, I would expect that kind of thing. I would expect them to play pretty standard compositionally because they're very good players who want to give themselves every opportunity for success. I'm Confused, have the ability to mix it up a little bit more. That's fine as long as it's within the realms of this composition still has an identity and works.
What I'm thinking right now is last game Honeycomb got hardly countered during the pick and ban stage. Like all the junglers she used to play were out, almost all of them. In this case, who do you think they're going to target with the bans?
What, in terms of champions or in terms of positionally?
I'd say position. I think yes, in this case, when it comes to these players who already have a name, a household name for themselves, I think it's more about it than position. So who do you think they're going to target? I think you said it before, in my opinion, is Catgirl Trez. I think she's got quite a wide champion pool, though. It's difficult to counter, like she plays everything
Yeah.
and she does it well. So perhaps, okay, I can see them countering mid lane. Bay, I love her champion pool, but I feel like it's a little more exclusive. If you go do investigate a little bit, you can see what champions she used to play the most. I don't want to say she's not OP at all, but she does tend to play quite a lot Nika, for example, so I can see how that ban could affect her more than banning Lilia in jungle, for example.
Yeah. Now, this is something that you always have to consider because you can look at a player like Catgirl Trez who plays more than 3 champions exceptionally well, right? So you look at that and say, well, she's the scary one. She's the one who carries a lot of the games for Derby's Pajama Guardians, or she's the one who has the aggressive early impact that allows the team to dominate. But if you can only ban 3 champions, she's still going to get something she's very comfortable on, still going to be able to get something that she dominates on. So even just leaving the strongest junglers open, so yeah, you're trading over the Graves, you're trading over the Lilia, but you're getting the Hecarim, you're getting something that you really want to see as well. And then looking at, okay, let's ban out someone like Bay Island who maybe is very, very good at Nico and is just very good at other stuff. So you take away the top tier, you skim the milk from the smaller cups, because then you're like, right, we're going to have to go up against something that Catgirl Trez loves, but we're going to have to go up against something that Bay Island isn't as comfortable on, or something that Elizabetta isn't so proficient on. And that's where you can start trying to gain yourselves advantages. But also, it could be a case of, right, Catgirl Trez loves playing Graves. We really don't want to go up against that champion because it ruins our team composition. Maybe you get rid of that.
Yeah.
Maybe you take away some of her more damage-dealing champs and force her onto something a little bit tankier if that's the way that you want to play around. If you're going to pick something like a Vayne that can absolutely deal with a Sejuani, maybe you take away like the Nidalee and the Graves so that she's forced more onto that role. And it will be very telling in the first round of bans, especially, what I'm Confused want to do. Or if they're just going to say, right, give Catgirl Trez whatever she wants. Let's just remove some comfort from the rest of the map and we'll deal with the jungler when we have to deal with it.
You've talked about this before and last season too, like, would you rather leave open picks that are comfortable for the other team if you know how to play against them, or would you rather ban them? And I think it's also a matter of, like confidence. Like, okay, in this case, as you were saying, Catgirl Trez, leave her champions open, we can counter all the lanes, we can make her suffer a little bit by attacking other places. I mean, obviously, win against the champion, it isn't like just killing them. You can do all things like applying pressure in the lanes, and particularly when it comes to junglers. Um, you can by dismantling whatever game plan she's got, you're always gonna do great effect on the game. So what I want to see here is, are they actually gonna go after Card Girl Tress, or are they gonna attack some other lane so that she's gonna change her game plan completely?
And this is the thing, I don't think you can sit back if you're on I'm Confused and allow Derby's Pajama Guardians to play their own game. Because we've
Yeah.
seen time and time again, and we haven't seen this matchup before, so we can't say empirically I'm Confused is worse than Derby's Pajama Guardians across the board, because we just don't know, right? And if I'm Confused let Derby's Pajama Guardians play their game, then they probably lose, because Derby's Pajama Guardians are very good. I'm Confused need to put their own stamp on the game pretty much immediately. They need to say, this is our team composition, this is what we've built, this is how we like to play, this is how we're going to play this game. If they pick something aggressive, they need to be aggressive early, they need to go and take the fights. If they pick something more control and more late game, then they have to be able to sit back and say, like, we're not going to give you everything for free, but we're not going to be forcing stuff early. And just going, we're going to just let Derby's Pajama Guardians control the tempo of the game, and we're just going to follow them and try and beat them at breakpoints, isn't really how you win this matchup. It's not really how you beat a team that's at the top of their game in this league. So I'm Confused need to do something to impress me here. Derby's Pajama Guardians do as well. I haven't cast them this season. They played once and they did look good against the Fiend's Unholy Girls, but I don't know, if they come in here and they look disappointing, draft themselves something a little bit weird and it doesn't really work, then suddenly I'm Confused. Title contenders. Teams like Hecker and PTSD, title contenders. We're in at 2 picks and bans, of course. Derby's Pajama Guardians on the blue side, I'm Confused on the red. And we're going to have to see what teams are going to be banning away. The Rex side is going to be the first off the table, taking that one away from Alusha.
Okay, so I like this ban. Now it's time when I want to see what I'm Confused are gonna go for. Like, are they gonna go for the jungle bans, or they're taking the time. I feel like this is a difficult decision to make.
It definitely is, and it's something that will affect their own draft as well. Because if they're banning away jungle, Champ's actually going to be just Tana taken off the table immediately. Not going to give Elizabetta the run of that hyper carry, but if they were going to ban away the junglers, then they'd have to have in their mind, what are we going to do for our jungle? What's our drafting strategy for our own position? If they're going elsewhere and they're leaving up strong picks in the jungle, then they're going to have their own draft strategy for that as well. Lulu going to be taken away as well, a very strong flexible pickup, so I like that ban a lot.
Yep, me too. Diego is going to be the next one to be banned. Okay, so this one I didn't expect it so much, but I will accept it because he's really strong in the meta right now, so like, okay, props to you. Now, the last one for each team, and I haven't seen any jungle bans apart from Rek'Sai, so I'm liking the confidence and I'm Confused got in myself right now. It's like what we were talking about previously, like, okay, I don't care about much, and Jin is gonna be out too, so we're targeting the bot lane, I see.
Yeah, just a couple of champions going to be taken away. Viego, kind of a jungler, but also common wisdom suggests he's actually a mid laner, is where a lot of people have been playing him, especially in the competitive high levels. But last ban, are we going to see a jungler being taken away from Catgirl Trez, or is she going to get her pick of the litter when it comes to options? Except for the Rek'Sai, it's going to be the Udyr removed, so not going to be given that one, which is, pretty sad. But the Lily is something we talked about before going into Champ Select. That's still available. The Hecarim is another one, but does it have to be a jungle priority pick? With the Seraphine being available? Could well be getting the flex there, and you're not meant to be upset about this. I'm the one who doesn't like Seraphine. You're meant to be excited by this pick.
I'm meant to be excited, but I've seen her so much lately that I'm just kind of sick of her. In any case, I think the Udyr ban is kind of surprising, just because Catgirl Trez does play many champions, but I think Udyr is not one of those that she plays out like, I'm just super good at it. She prefers others, so I'm just like, okay. So I don't think this is going to affect her. That's what I mean, like, altogether. And when it comes to Seraphine, I see her going mid lane, actually. Volibear.
Okay, this is the kind of spicy pick I like. This is the level of, like, we don't see it very often, but it's quite fun and will probably be played in a role that is actually meant to be played in, which is always cool. And looking towards potentially the Karma as well being locked in, a champion that I am very excited about on this patch. A load of flexibility in this one and does the same job as Seraphine.
I mean, obviously, I think Seraphine is stronger in this current meta. I feel like Karma, the thing with her is that low levels she's quite strong because she's got her ulti, but like later she just falls kind of behind and doesn't do as much. Just wait for them to pick Rel and then she's kind of out of the game. But in any case, Kai'Sa has been picked. Kai'Sa Seraphine could be a good bot lane though.
Yeah, that's definitely a strong bot lane if they decide to go in that direction, but do have the option to pick up a mid laner, and there's the Hecarim going to be the option for Catgirl Trez, which very, very strong champion. Catgirl Trez very, very good at it. So
Absolutely.
Very successful first rotation from Derby's Pyjama Guardians.
Honestly, I'm really liking this combo so far by Derby's Pyjama Guardians. I need to see what I'm confused have to bring yet, because obviously they've still got like 3 picks to go through. And the comp is like, okay. I mean, what can you say about 2 champs being picked? Okay, Ornn for top lane, I'm guessing.
Okay, yes. There's a little bit open here. The Ornn could go down to support. The Volibear could be support as well. Volibear can go jungle. It's very open and flexible in terms of where they want to be assigning these roles. They could even be potentially backing something weird going mid so they could put the Ornn into that, but there's a lot of speculation with I'm Confused draft. As their name suggests, I'm confused. The Gnar ban is not revealing too much because Gnar ruins Ornn and ruins Volibear. Maybe Ornn a little bit more so, but definitely not picked up a top laner for Derby's Pyjama Guardians just yet, unless they're going for the OG Hecarim top that we saw many, many years ago. But the Orianna is going to be the ban, and both of these teams not giving up too much in their first 3 picks means that these bans are going to be a bit scattergun because they don't know exactly where has been missed. Of course, you can say I'm Confused definitely don't have a marksman unless they're going for Karma bot lane, so maybe that could be a focus.
Could be. Now, the thing is, the scene so far is like, do you think, okay, so Rel is, okay, though it does make sense. I studied Rel builds this Karma, I didn't picture it so much, so it does make sense for her to be out and banned. But now my question is, like, I actually don't know how that, okay, Jinx is out. Okay.
That is a bit rogue as a ban. There's a lot more power in the bot lane role, but if Karajishi is a Jinx connoisseur, or is maybe just a hyper carry connoisseur, then it makes sense to remove it. It was something that we talked about a little bit, but if you're talking about stronger crit marksman, Xayah certainly exists and is going to be the lock in there, so could be pretty decent alongside the Karma. Rakan is also available as an option.
Hey.
Leona hanging around.
Leona? What? Is it gonna be Leona? If it's Leona, okay, so we've got Seraphine mid laner and Leona soup. Okay, so I like, oh no, please, no, not Yumi, no.
Luckily,
nope.
I don't think the cat has place in this composition, because otherwise we'd be seeing the classic Leona top, which isn't good and is not very good into tanks. But it looks like Derby Giant Guardians are going to be looking for something a little bit beefier in that top side. The Malphite is available, and Derby, I said, what I want to see from them is something very simple. Runs like clockwork team fight. That's exactly what they've drafted, so very, very impressed with what they've got for themselves. We'll have to see what the final option will be for I'm Confused in their last one. It will kind of explain their composition a little bit more, what they're going for, and we gotta stop picking the disengage into the engage in the bot side. It will be the Janna going forward, which means it will be Volibear jungle and Karma going into that mid side. But the last pick, I'm Confused, has made me confused because you had a great team fighting identity as a team, but now you've got, why would you pick champions that love running? I don't love this last pick.
Oh, you seem confused indeed, and I'm confused too because, I mean, out of like we were talking before about all the super champions that were available last time Janna was picked, like what could have to play with, and we were talking Thresh, Bram, blah blah blah, but they go and pick Janna, which I don't like so much because of course you've got the front line, you've got the back line, but it might be just me, but like I feel like Janna doesn't do that much in comparison to other supports, putting it lightly. So I'm not in love with this pick. Now, if I look at Darby's Pajama Guardians comp, I see what they're going, I see the engage, I see what they can do. I like it.
Yeah, 100% Derby's team composition. It's very basic, but it's full of very strong components. And just because what the machine's doing is a very simple task doesn't mean the machine isn't useful, right? Engage, it's exactly what Hecarim PTSD built last game. Asterisk,
Oh,
there's a little bit of damage elsewhere. It's a little bit different in terms of Hecarim's doing a bit more for you damage-wise, and the Seraphine's a little bit more utility than the Orianna is, but not all that much. But it is a case of, hey, Malphite's engaging, and Hecarim, and Leona, and Seraphine's following up that engage with her ultimate, and Kai'Sa can be in the mix, can dive in, or can be on the backside, just, shooting away. So, Derby's Pajama Guardians, great stuff. Love what you're doing. The team comp's very easy to execute on. You can now focus on the micro level play because the composition kind of plays itself in a way. I'm confused. Let's chat. I'm confused. After this game, I'll introduce you to my mate Alistair. Good champ.
Okay.
Gives you engage options. It's cool. And yeah, okay, let's talk about what they've done well for a start. They have a good team fight setup when they're... Okay, they have like a decent team fight setup at all times because they've got Ornhorn, they've got Karma Ultimate with the shield, and they've got Zarya. The Zarya is really, really good because she can self-heal herself with the ultimate and can put in tons of damage later in the game. And you have to always be watching where the feathers are if you're on the other team, because a drag back there can be very deadly, and the stun itself can often be enough to dissuade big fights from going any further. And they've got some disengage. If things go wrong, they can shield and run away, and they've got the Janna to help with that. But does Volibear really want to be running away? Does Ornn really want to be running away? Not massively. It's the kind of thing where, like, if Janna decides this fight isn't happening anymore and ults and tries to get people out, she's knocking people back, yeah, but the Karma Shield will have already been used if a fight has taken place. So she's not going to be able to help too many people get away. So you're going to be hemorrhaging members on the run out, and you don't have any follow-up disengage. Also, while I'm introducing you to Alistair, I might bring Gragas along as well as someone else that you can talk to about. If you want to go for a disengage angle, if Janna was Gragas, I'd love this team comp. I'd be in love with it because it's got Karma in it for a start, and Karma for life. But also, Gragas gives engage and disengage. Janna just gives disengage. And
yeah,
there is front this time around though, something that was missed last game, which we touched on, and you touched on very well. Frontline was lacking. I'm confused, have a beefy frontline. So I'm not convinced by the draft just because of that last pick, but one pick that doesn't really build into what they want to do won't take the wheels off completely, and they've got all the other bases covered.
I'm also thinking now, like, okay, so this is just in my mind, but I'm thinking about Janna's ulti. Of course, it can disengage, it also heals whomever is around her from her team. Now, Karma's ulti with the shield, it can help you run away. Now, the thing is, do you run away from a zone that is healing you? Like, I feel like sometimes that part of Janna's ulti gets overlooked. Like, okay, so it heals too, but like, do you just want to disengage? And I think it could be used for more things than that. Like, is this something I was thinking about right now? Like, do you really want to run away from that? But of course, it does make sense. Now, you did make a point about the front line being stronger and, okay, own Volibear, I like that. But at the same time, again, for me, Karma and Janna are like a little bit basic in a way. Like, I don't know if it's that I'm getting used to new champions like Aphelios, Seraphine, all these champions with the cool kits. But the thing is, I feel like nowadays I find them a little bit like, you could find better alternatives. Or you can even go back to the classics, like you said, with Alistar. But yeah, I don't like them so much. Not Janna, not Karma. None of them.
I mean,
I'm saying it as a Karma player.
Yeah, I can see where you're coming from. I think Karma has a place in a composition like this. It's kind of the very archetypical, and I talk about this all the time when I cast. I was talking about this in like my first ever Newell cast, which was back in 2019. Goodness me, I'm old at this point. But Stampede is something that I love as a as a composition. Karma fits perfectly into that style of play. You pick a Karma, you pick a Sivir, you pick an Alistar. You bundle into the enemy team. You pick a Volley Baron and Ornn because they actually fit into that composition as well. And then you're like, we get to 15 minutes on parity, we don't do that much, and then we all go mid and we run at the enemy team really quickly. And the enemy team dies because we're going to do more damage than they do. And we're going to be able to lock people up. And it's the most simple, basic form of front to back that doesn't invite Malphite. And you can't have Malphite because Darby's Pajama Guardians already have Malphite. But I can see what you mean by Janna. There are so many better options here that are A, better champs in the meta right now, and B, are champions that do so much more from the composition. Because Janna strictly just disengages. She has got no aggressive capability if the other team is playing correctly. Your engage being a knock-up from Janna, something's gone wrong. If you get insect by Janna ultimate, that's hilarious, but that should never actually happen. And just picking the Nami that we saw in the first game, even that gives you a little bit more versatility with what you want to do. And sure, I would still be complaining about it because there are better champions to pick. There's a lot of tanks that I much prefer. But yeah, we'll have to see how it goes as we do move on to the Rift for our final game of the evening. Of course, we've got Darby's Pajama Guardians on the blue side, and I'm confused on the red side. And I'm confused to have given us a lot of questions to think about moving into this game, but my question for you, Carmeline, is get your crystal ball out again. I don't know if you put it back after last game or not, but where will First Blood be going in this game? Because you got it right last time, so this time you're going to get it right as well.
Right, though? Yeah, I got it right, but not for the right reasons. So, I was like, yeah, Kayn is going to gank, and he's going to help Syndra, and then Syndra did it on her own. So this time around, I'm foreseeing... I think the first skill is going to go to Catgirl Trust and Hecarim.
Ooh, okay.
And I can foresee it being... I know whom. I cannot channel that energy right now. I don't know who it is going to fall upon. But the thing is, I can see her getting the first blood. Now, in any case, pretty normal start, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, it's very, very standard in terms of junglers both starting on their bot side, getting a bit of a healthier leash. Of course, the Hecarim doesn't need one if it's starting on the Raptors, because... has a very, very easy time clearing up those little minions, and gives a little better and Eliodora a little bit of time in the bot lane, just to set things up and feel good, because in the early game, Janna can do a little bit of poke and can be a little bit worrying for the Kai'Sa and Leona, especially if they overextend. But I do not see this bot lane particularly going... This bot lane could only really go wrong for Darby's Pajama Guardians at level 2. And that's if they don't respect the feathers on the floor and someone gets chunked for half their health and stunned.
Ooh. True now. What do you think about this top lane matchup though? Because we haven't talked that much about it. We talk about Malphite and how he could fit into the enemy composition. But what about Ornn versus Malphite? Both very powerful ultis. Is the first kill gonna be... Oh, okay, no.
No, it's not. Okay, the Zenith play. You getting excited. You were like, oh, is this gonna be proved correct? But... Catgirl Trez not able to catch onto anything with the Zenith Blade going down. I mean, top lane in this matchup, we haven't talked very much about it because it is kind of just tanks go burr. And there's kill pressure for Ornn between levels 1 and 4 if Lioness oversteps, but Lioness hasn't been overstepping, so the window's already half closed now that the Ornn has got to level 3. Lioness has a little bit of a kill window at level 6. Ooh. You can see there the Ornn doing a little bit more damage. Lioness will be able to return it quite well, but you can't return damage. You've got Dead. Bay Island goes down for first blood in the mid lane, though. Lucia.
Oh.
What's going on there?
Okay, so I think I foresee the wrong jungler.
You saw jungle, but just didn't know which.
Exactly. So Alicia with a kill. Okay, so this is what I wanted to see happening last game. So jungle actually helped on the mid laner, get a little bit of an advantage early on. And this is what happened straight away. Oh, be careful, because you're gonna meet... Oh, no.
Catgirl Trez can very easily get away from the volley bear if she doesn't stick around, but Alicia is in a much stronger position with that full health bar, and now the Smite has gone down for full health bar, but Ayase going to be chased away by Lioness, who has hit level 4, volley bear diving onto Catgirl Trez, but of course, Hecarim is very, very quick. Sponge Cake will be able to rotate very easily to help steal away this blue buff, and this is something that we should have noted actually a little bit in Champ Select was... Karma is a joy to gank for in the early levels because she has that ultimate level 1. She can get the slow off the Q, or she can get a really nice route down with her W, or can speed you up with her shield. In fact, she can do that without using her ultimate. She can give you that speed and survivability. So it should have definitely been something that we consider a little bit more, with Alusha being able to get work done there. And now moving into the top lane, going to try and get work done online. It's half health, very low mana, going to be knocked up by the All, and there's the kill. At level 4, Alusha picks it up, but it's a good start for I'm Confused here.
I mean, Alicia there with the Volibear, not being surprised because I know she's quite good at it, but like, I'm just surprised at how quickly things have happened during this game. Like, I expect Davi to have a little more like, you know, preparation when it comes to that, like, you know, be prepared for this kind of ganks. But I think maybe the Seraphim pick is failing them a little bit when it comes to that. Now, in any case, I'm gonna go for Dragon. Alicia is coming quickly. She's just running right down the river, and I think still she doesn't have enough time to get it. So Dragon is gonna go to Darvi's Pyjama Guardians.
Yeah, you see this, and it seems a little bit counterproductive almost, that you'll also see very good play from one jungler in the early stages, but the first dragon going the other direction, and SpongeCake not going to be able to do too much about stealing away that Skull Crab. But this is just because they know Lucia's top side, their bot lane has got a little bit of priority and will be able to move up much faster, and just going to be able to pick up that first dragon. It's not the end of the world. The first dragon is not all that important as objectives go, because you're not going to be setting up for soul. You're not really going to be gaining all that much from it. A little bit of tankiness is nice, but it's not game winning. And a lot of teams put much more pressure on the first Rift Herald, as that one can be the one that gives you a lot of productive damage. And now that we've got to this like level 5 area, Lioness will start feeling a little bit better about these 1v1 matchups, and we'll be able to put that poke down and potentially get kill pressure with 6. But again, it might be 1 kill to Malphite, which would even things up, but it's not really going to lead to all that much. No one's snowballing top lane in this game, basically.
Nope. And bot lane is quite calm too. You were talking about the level 2 problem with the feathers and so on, but it seems like they are being respectful at the moment, so not much to be said about it. So the action, it's mainly concentrating on the mid lane, I say right now. Like, I honestly think Seraphine, look at the farm, she's already 10 behind. Of course, she's been killed, so she hasn't been lane for a little while, but the thing is, I see Alicia ganking the mid lane again and again, just exploded, you know. So, I'm just like worried about the mid lane for Darby's Pyjama Guardians for now.
Yeah, it's not looking perfect for Bay Island, and SpongeCake doing a good job at being a little bit ahead in farm. But remember, SpongeCake does have the barrier into the teleport. So when we talked last game about what can be done with teleport, it's exactly the same situation here, where SpongeCake has the initiative, needs to be doing better in the lane, right? Needs to be the stronger of the two mid lanes. Currently succeeding in that one. Alusha going to move in towards bot lane to try and get something going, trying to get the slow down, but we'll only be able to get onto Eliodora, which is a pretty tanky target. Here comes Catgirl Trez looking towards the Volibear. Volibear can ult, and Catgirl Trez is going to be taken down by the feathers, and now they're going to be able to run up river. Lioness coming through, has ultimate available, will be able to catch on to 2 members of I'm Confused. Going to be able to take down Karajishi very quickly as the Blade lands onto Alusha. Will get stunned up and taken low, but Eliodora, one last hit from Janna will be all it takes to send her out. Going to try and flash away. Will she be able to get away? I don't think she will. But the double knockup will certainly help. Lioness is still chasing on Elizabeth. Won't need to use the W because Lioness picks up the kill. Excellent teleport play from the Malphite. Secures the team fight turnaround. And Darby's Pyjama Guardians make it a 3 for 2.
It hasn't she been a little late, but no, she was right on time there. Like, okay, so what a team fight. It seemed like, honestly, that I feared for Catgirl Trez, like on the Hecarim, she was about to die, and then suddenly you got the Malphite there, Lioness with Tippy going over to the bot lane, and things turn around. I think this was a good team fight for both teams, but I'm gonna attribute it more to the TP by Malphite. Even though I gotta say, I was quite surprised by it all. Like, I liked a lot how they executed for both of them, for both teams.
Yeah, it was a very, very close team fight. Lioness having that teleport available when ISR didn't, gave the advantage that was needed, and that was the big turnaround, because it was, before that it was a 1-for-0, right? And Catgirl Trez wasn't able to do very much in the bot lane, kind of just got locked up and taken down, which on Hecarim, you're very speedy, but if you do stand still for too long, it's pretty easy to take you down. You're not as beefy as some of these other tanks, and certainly not as beefy as the Volibear, who's just ulted to gain a bunch of health and has the shield from the E as well. But the Malphite coming through, landing that like very, very clutch ultimate onto two members was what turned that fight around and allowed Derby's Pyjama Guardians to basically run down I'm Confused and take all the kills that they really could have gained in that fight. And now Lucia is going to be trying to get onto Bay Island, but Flash is available. CatGirl once again looking for the return gank, getting towards the Volibear, and the double charm is really, really nice from Bay Island. And Lucia has the flash away, going to be followed up, and it's Sponge Cake that is the target. Going to be able to flash as well away from Bay Island's damage, but CatGirl will cull her down. Alusha gets away on a sliver of health, but this time around, it's not the Volibear that picks up the kills.
So the double jump was beautiful, but I get to say, ooh, okay.
Oh, in the bot side, Elizabetta gonna try and jump onto Celerat, does manage to pick up the kill. Karajishi should be fine to get onto tower. One lost stun and a couple more autos. Actually, Karajishi stepping really far forward to try and return, gets the damage down with the ultimate, but gonna be stunned up and taken down. Leona will fall, but Xayah looking for the return poke, actually gives up her life, yes. Picks up a kill on to the supporters. Once again, the top laners kind of just punching pieces out of each other, but at this point, it's all about the bot lane.
Okay, so, I mean, obviously this allows them to control better the dragon, but you've got Alicia coming up from behind, Volibear that has been everywhere since the game started. The kill on Own, okay.
What you can see there is nice. You can see Lioness's ultimate has just gone on cooldown. That's pretty much all you need to know about how that kill happened.
Yeah, I mean, I'm saying it right now. I'm like, okay, so cool. First dragon for, not second dragon out of the game for Derby's Pyjama Guardians. And I should say, okay, so I'm still impressed with Lucia. I feel like she's just everywhere in the game in map. She's just ganking here and there. And on the other hand, I feel like CatGirl has had to play a little bit of behind, following her trail. But at the same time, she's been able to pull that off quite well. We saw that in the double charm by Seraphine. I like that. Like, she's respecting Lucia. She's following her close behind, but like, she just to make sure, you know. I like it a lot. I like what they both are doing.
Yeah, and being able to know where the opponent jungler wants to make a play, and being able to counter gank and secure plays for yourself, or even just save your own laners, is a really, really great skill to have in your pocket. And CatGirl not necessarily showing all the initiative that we've seen from her in previous games, but definitely showing that side of her game this time around. And Volibear is a really strong pickup in the early stages. Elizabetta trying to run down Karajishi. Iliador will be able to get the stun down, and there's nowhere for Xayah to go. Doesn't have the ultimate to jump up in the air, so will fall, and it was a double with Celerat going down as well on the top side. I'm Confused will be looking to exchange that for a Rift Herald, the first one of the game, and have 2 minutes to place that somewhere to grab themselves some plates. And with members moving towards the top side, it could be an instant drop to try and grab some instant money. And you can see the eye going to burst there.
Oh, okay, indeed. It's going to go top lane, and it seems like for blue teams, Derby's Pyjama Guardians are not trying to contest quite harshly. Okay, Malphite, careful there. Careful there. That's how it's done. Don't try. Okay, yeah. I talked to Sin. So, she was able to save the tower. It was committed was going to fall. So, I mean, the Rift Herald was useful, yes, but in the end, it didn't make that much of an impact. In fact, CatGirl could just be roaming around without having to focus too much on the lane. So, I mean, not much sacrifice, you know, that she saved the tower from that Herald. Ooh.
I say going to be chased away. I mean, the Rift Herald probably gained them about 300, 350 gold, which is not bad. It's made the gold lead look a little bit healthier. It's 2k now on the side of Derby's Pyjama Guardians, and this is the point where Derby need to start saying, right, we're going to take the initiative away from you. We're going to now command the tempo of this game, because as you mentioned, Alucia's been the one who's been controlling what the radio station is. She's been the one in charge. She's got the aux cable of this League of Legends game, and now that still very, very strong, very, very tanky, but this is getting to the point where CatGirl Trez is going to be getting towards that mythic item, is going to be a little bit stronger and should be able to put down the hurt onto her opponent. And you've already seen that Lioness has got the initiative in top lane. Bot lane's going very, very well for Derby as well, and they should now be in the driving seat here.
I think so, yeah. I mean, if they can, because at the same time, while they are leading the game for now, they've got Alicia. And again, I know we talk a lot about her, but I feel like she can take control whenever she wants to, really, if she's got the support of the rest of her team. Um, Honestly, I'm like, I want to see more plays like the one we saw in the bot lane at the beginning, but also what's going on with Shaya and Jana. They're struggling quite a lot. Disengage isn't working. Is that like an option for them to get out of that situation and just get a better position and better like chances at not losing so much?
Again, not hugely, just because of the nature of what you really want to be doing in this lane assignment when you've got the Zarya is either ha 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 I've got Rakan. This lane is funny because we got bonuses with each other, so we're going to be a very strong duo. Or at level 6, Zarya has really good self-peel potential. She can kind of be in lane on her own if she's got her ultimate up, and yes, she can still be dove by 3 or 4 people, but she can usually exchange that 1-for-1 if she gets the stun down on a squishier target, and your support can go around and roam, but someone like the Janna, someone like the Nami that we saw in the first game of the day as well, they're not that proficient at roaming because what are they going to do when they move around the map? They're going to disengage mid rather than bot? It doesn't really provide the
Yeah.
same level of scariness as an Alistar or a Gragas or even someone like a Braum who does kind of the same job. Spongecake is going to be pretty spooked here, dove back, and the ultimate comes down from Seraphine as well. Spongecake will be no more eaten up by Bay Island in that play, and we wanted the tempo to be sped up a little bit by Derby's Pajama Guardians, and immediately off pause, they do just that.
It was beautiful. Like, I really liked. Okay, so both these players. Okay, all the players in this game are wonderful, but I really like what they've done here. Like with the Hecarim coming up from that lane, flanking, and then just behind Karma, behind Spotcake, being able to spook her and surfing immediately using her kit to charm her and so get the kill. I really like it. Okay,
Gonna
so
be able
that.
to dive
Oof.
onto Zaya. Teleport coming down onto the tower, and Janna will be able to get her ultimate off to disengage. Karajishi
Oh
will be able to
no.
pull back, but doesn't get the stun down onto Elizabeth. Isa looking for the knockup. Will find Eliodora, and the Leona is toast. She's going to be taken down. Lioness dives into the fight with the teleport. Has the ultimate available. Will she want to use it? I don't think so. Without Leona to follow up, it will be a 3v4, and it's not a very healthy looking Kai'Sa under the tower. So actually, just going to be a 1-for-0. Nice play from Iron Confused. They need to now try and gain some ground from this.
How can they do it? Like, think about it. The dragon is about to come up on the rift in around 1 minute. The Baron's a long way to go, perhaps held. Another thing is, okay, so in this play, first of all, the TP was very good. I gotta say that. But on the other hand, like, what about Darby? Like, I think, okay, so the Leona, of course, with engage and so on, was caught out of place. That can be very dangerous. And then she was dying. At least it was 1 kill and no, not like the 2 kills Kaizen had. So, I mean, worth it in a certain way.
Yeah, and I mean, it's kind of good for I'm Confused to win that fight exactly when they did, because it was a perfect time to reset for Dragon. So it kind of forced them to reset, and now the Dragon will be fought on even terms because everyone's been back and got items. Teleport is not available from anyone except Bay Island, who is going to want to be down in this fight anyway, because Seraphine teleporting in is usually too late for Seraphine to be involved, and actually it allows for I'm Confused to pick up the first tower of the game. It's not going to be that much of a difference maker, but this fight certainly could be. Lucia looking for an opportunity to get an engage down, was sped up by the Karma, but Eliodora is just being a bouncer, and Lucia hasn't brought her ID, so she's not going to be allowed in, and it's going to be an easy dragon secured by Darby's Pajama Guardians. Cat Goldtrez marauding forward, catches onto the volley bear, trying to get some damage down, but the blast cone to freedom allows Lucia to escape, and Darby's Pajama Guardians kind of chasing shadows a little bit, will be able to move away with the tools that they've drafted themselves. Seraphine going to be speeding people up, and there's no real risk of any re-engage. I'm Confused will be chased off, and Soul Point again set up so early. Darby's Pajama Guardian is going to be keeping an eye on that timer.
Absolutely. Okay, so again, the team's being very cautious against each other, like around each other. Now in jungle, what they saw here was that Hecarim was like, okay, chasing. But the thing is, the rest of I'm Confused was right behind. So, in fact, some of Darby's members were like affected by this, lost a little bit of health, which could have been disastrous if they had been more aggressive when it comes to like attacking, when it comes to I'm Confused comp. If I'm Confused had wanted to get into that fight and get into that team fight, I think Darby will have actually lost. So it was a good call from Darby and a not so good call from I'm confused, or perhaps it was. I mean, you've shown your power. That's definitely intimidating. Oh my god.
Well, Lucia going in for the 1v1, but I'm not so convinced that the Volibear's happy to take this one anymore. But SpongeCake tries to make it as unfair as possible. Bay Island will be able to land the charm, clips onto a Lucia who will go low, might burn down, survives with the pot running, but SpongeCake isn't on the right side of the map, does go down. Volibear looking to recall, will have to kind of move away a little bit, but the healing will be able to help Lucia survive. Lioness hanging around, has ultimate available, but can't find the Volibear under tower. One ultimate would have been enough, but Lioness chasing the wrong scent and will not be able to secure that kill there.
Yep, but I mean, another tower for Davi. Well, the first tower, in fact. Another thing is, okay, so you've got tower. The objectives on the Rift. Wow. Nope.
Nope.
Don't be careful. Nothing is going on.
Nothing's here. Nothing's here, folks. It's fine.
No, this is normal. Top lane stab. What's not normal is this Alicia with Volibear coming up to the Herald, the last one of the game, and let's see if she can steal it. I think it's a little too early to do it. Careful, she's got his might.
Yeah, gonna need to be a little bit careful. Lucia could try and steal this one away. She will be able to do so, but the fight will kick off immediately afterwards. Lucia grabs the eye and will look to escape with it. You can see Bay Island trying to get the land down, but won't be able to get any CC. But on the other side of the fight, SpongeCake once again dying for the sins of Volibear will be taken out in the mid lane. It will be Eliodora picking up that because Lioness turns the fight towards the Ornn. Should be able to pick up a double. Yep. That one's secured. Lioness there, and Lucia hung around way too long on the Volibear. Going to be caught out and killed as well. So yeah, the steal of the objective's good, but losing 3 members for it as Lioness gets the clap down. Just no need to be there in that position, and steal is good. Losing 3 members on the back of it, not so much.
I mean, you're gonna lose a tower in the mid lane, and of course you can get another one in the bot lane, but is it really worth it? Like, again, if we're just talking about towers, this first tower in the bot lane is not worth it, and you're gonna lose not 1 but 2. Okay, so this was a misplay. It seemed like it was going wild first, like with the Herald and so on, but now you've been put in a position where you need to use it because you really need that help for them using the full strategy and being like taking lead. So, I mean, I think it was a little too bold from I'm confused. Try and take the Herald that way, seeing how things followed.
I mean, I think it's fine if they get the Rift Herald there and then they just leave. I think they could have probably lost. They would have lost SpongeCake. SpongeCake was dead on arrival, but the other two might have been able to get out if they played it a little bit better. But Alicia going to be dropping those ill-gotten gains in the bot side, trying to grab another tower, and with Karajishi, Celerat, and SpongeCake all hanging around, this will be a free tower. Maybe even potentially looking for a second charge, but with a triple from Derby Pajama Guardians on the bot side. You see Elizabeth, Bay Island, and Eliodora all hanging about. There shouldn't be a second charge on the menu, and you know, getting that tower is nice. Opens up the map a little bit more for both teams. I'm confused especially with that take, but Dragons up in 20 seconds time. This will be Soul if it's secured by Derby's Pajama Guardians, so keep your eyes on the smites. Eliodora just moving forward, not able to catch anyone out just yet and forced to back away, but the rest of the team has now arrived, so a re-engage might be an option. Lioness moving around, has the ultimate Unstoppable Force available, trying to dive onto Lucia, but she's going to be able to wander away, and keep your eyes on Volibear, because she's the one with Smite, and if Lucia can't get involved, then things are going to be difficult. Lioness looking for the 1v1, doing a lot of damage, half healthing as the fight kicks off up there. You can see the Unstoppable Force being used. There's no Smite available now for I'm Confused as Lioness gets the kill, and now in the mid side, Bay Island picks up a kill. Celerat is routed, and SpongeCake trying to get away. A double kill for the Malphite, and the slow will be that Celerat falls as well. One more auto should be enough, but a slow from Karma actually might be enough to save the channel here. Gonna get a shield, gonna get a knock up, gonna get healed by SpongeCake with that Moonstone, and the Dragon Soul will be picked off screen. It's gonna be Hecarim securing that one as the chase continued far longer than it maybe should have. But the headline of that story, 4 Dragon takes means a Soul.
So I feel like here how they combined Leona's ulti with Seraphine's ulti to really make an effect there. Now, for once, Celerat could shine a little bit on Yana, disengaging there, and finally saving herself with the tornado. So I think that was good from them. prevented more deaths. But in any case, Lucia, this is kind of scary here. Like seeing Lucia running just into the barn, but she's not gonna be in time,
No,
right? No.
not gonna be quick enough to be able to secure that Baron, and we'll go over to 5 members of Derby's Pyjama Guardians. And yeah, you mentioned Janna and Karma, very good at disengaging. It's hard to chase them down, but what does that achieve past just keeping a couple of members alive who are not really going to be able to contest that Baron? And yeah, what the champions did was good, and that's what they're intended to do in that duo. But while Karajishi's dead, while Alusha's dead, while Isa's dead, you don't achieve much from escaping after that point.
True, and now looking at the optimization, both Karma and Janna are going Winston, which is obviously it does make sense, but at the same time, this just highlights for me that perhaps they need a little bit more AP power from. I'm confused. On the other hand, if you look at Davi's itemizations, got a little bit of everything. They bind Sunderer, like Andres, Kraken, Solari. I really like that. Not so much the optimization for. Ooh.
Nice flash from Karajishi, avoids the unstoppable force, but the follow-up engage is good. Now there's no flash available, but the ultimate comes through from Karajishi. Will be able to pull back to get a nice triple root, and there's the knockout from Isa. Eliodora stumbles out the back of the fight, but is now in between 2 towers, and Malphite goes down, shut down to the Ornn. Exceptional play there as CatGirl looking for a way in, finds Alusia, half health on impact, and there's the ultimate from Bay Island fighting in a choke. Is so good for Derby's Pyjama Guardians. They pick up the ace out of nowhere, and while the fight looked so great initially under tower from I'm Confused, they stepped out and they got punished.
Oh my god. Okay, so my fight was out, which seemed like, okay, you are losing part of your front line, but then just Davy recovered from that really quickly. At times I was afraid for them, but they leave Bay Island to take the back lane to do the damage, to get the kills along with Kaiser, and honestly, very good play for Davy, obviously. And now this might cost the game for Unconfused.
Yeah, doing a decent amount of damage. The second inhibitor is now being knocked on. The bot one has already gone down, and I'd be surprised if Derby... Yeah, they're going to just leave here, which is exactly what you'd expect them to do, because they still have a little bit of time running on their Baron, and now, if they can get out, brave position to recall him, but it seems to be working for everyone. Bay Island has to stop that one to step away from the volley bear, and don't overstay here, Derby's Pyjama Guardians. You can leave. You're happy to just walk away. You've got the tools to do so, and maybe looking to catch someone out who's a little bit overzealous on the chase, but it doesn't seem like I'm Confused are going to be doing that one. And
don't bugbear, like what?
This is the thing. I'm Confused now needs to be a little bit careful, because they do actually lose this fight if it's taken. CatGirl diving through onto Spongecake, is over the wall, has to flash away. Lioness has the ultimate available once again, but does not have flash to pull the trigger too early. CatGirl diving forward. Karajishi is going to be the target, but going to be able to get away on the side. Nice double force means that Bay Island will take down Celerat for the first kill of the fight. Elizabeth picks up a second one onto Volleybone. Ice there, turning around to headbutt the bull, just dies in the process. And that should be game. No Baron buff required for Derby's Pyjama Guardians. Spongecake standing under tower. Karajishi there as well, but not standing under towers anymore. Going to be forced back to Fountain as she watches Karma die. And with the second tower being taken down, this will be a win for Derby's Pyjama Guardians. Fastest one of the game, but maybe the closest game we saw today.
Yeah. I'm like, still shocked about it. So, oh my god, don't do that. I mean, is it really necessary? You can just get the inhibitor and you can get next about it. You need to be waiting there, because we've seen that certain comebacks that have taken place due to waiting to, kill the enemy team. In the case, I'm surprised by Seraphine by Bay Island, because I was thinking, okay, so you said it before, Oriana is less of an utility pick than Seraphine. I was expecting Seraphine to be more of a secondary support in a certain way, but okay, I retreat. I didn't say that. Like, I'm very pleasantly surprised with what she's done. The ult is right on point. Really, Seraphine.
Absolutely. It was a very good pick for that composition. And again, this is the story of today. Draft correctly, and you set yourselves up for success. Every game, we've been able to point out stuff that's gone wrong, or we've been able to point out flashpoints in each game before we've loaded into the Rift. Because the teams that are drafting the simple 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 compositions have been winning games more often than not. And yes, you have to say, if Derby's Pyjama Guardians play like that, they can probably beat anyone with a composition that doesn't necessarily do that exactly as well. But why would they do that when they can just pick the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? And the Seraphine was very, very impressive. Lioness was very, very impressive on the Malphite top lane. The bot lane played well. Catgirl Trez had a slower start than we've seen traditionally from her, but that's like saying, wow, Catgirl Trez wasn't playing like the best player in the league for the entire game. It's like, well, it's not that much of an insult, really. And she did have really, really good engages following up in the end. And Derby's Pajama Guardians looked very, very deserving of that win. I'm confused. Good stuff throughout the game. They did have very strong moments. Karajishi on that Zarya looked very, very good at times, but the bot lane wasn't set up for success. They had like a 2-3 level window to get anything done without ganks. They didn't do anything then, and yeah, they got half a good play bot lane in one of the skirmishes, but past that, nothing was really gained. And when you've got a good player playing down in that bot side and they're playing well, you'd want them to have some sort of engage. You want them to be able to pull that trigger, and with Janna, you can just never do that.
True. I mean, there are more effective champions right now in the meta that they could have used, but I'm just thinking right now, like, I think what Catgirl was doing was kind of studying Alicia. Alicia does know what Catgirl can do, but Catgirl might not know what her playstyle is like so much. So I really did feel like she was just studying her, knowing what she was going, falling close behind. And then once she learned what she was going to do and how she did it, she just like completely just took her out of the game, which was very interesting to me. I feel like that was very strategic from Catgirl, so props to her for like doing that kind of play.
Yeah, it was something very, very different to her game style, and it wasn't necessarily, it wasn't the I'm just going to roll over you level 3 and then win the game at level 3 for my team because I'm going to keep destroying you in the jungle. It wasn't that style of play, but into a volley bear, that style of play probably doesn't work. So it was very, very good to see Catgirl adapt and play very well and help her team to a win. But that is all we've got time for today in the Women's League of Legends Championship. And massive thank you to everyone who tuned in and all the teams, because we had some very entertaining games here today and no Urgot jungles. So improvement. We're learning. We're adapting. And massive thank you again to all of our sponsors, Unite Students, Twitch Student, and Logitech G. Always massively appreciate your support. And from myself, Carboline, and the entire team at The Newell, thank you so much for joining us. And make sure to come back next Friday for more Women's League of Legends action. We'll see you then.
Tokyo